What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, brought to you by Den Media Group, presented by Alpha Male Jacks. AlphaMaleJacks.com is the website to go to check all of your men, your male hormone needs. We are talking about Alpha Male Jacks at the tailgate this past weekend, bunch of other different things on the road. Still in Orlando. Probably going to take a day of rest here after I get done with the show. Last few days was crazy, man. Appreciate everybody kind of hanging in there with me, sticking with it. Had a few few dejectors, but nothing personal with them. I get it. It was yesterday was wild, man. I wish I could have. I should have. Not I wish I could have. But Miles is the GOAT when it comes to swim coaching. Like if people used to say I make white kids fast, Miles helps black kids swim. So like and Indians and anybody else. So I know he probably had stuff booked up and I couldn't afford them. So, but let me tell you this before I get into the rest of our sponsors and shit. Be careful what you pray for or what you wish for, because you might just get it. And don't get me wrong, I loved every little bit of it. But I asked for 1,000 folks, and we didn't have 1,000 paid. We had between former players and some other people, family and some people that we comp because they were sponsors. We had over 1,000, man, but it was wild. So, but anyways, I want people to know this right here. Alpha Male Jacks. We have a Labor Day sale going on. 12 weeks of semaglutide guaranteed weight loss results. It was funny. I was at a table talking with some people. They were bringing up clomidine, semaglutide, all these different things. And because of what I do with the Alpha Male Jacks, I knew all the lingo. They were looking at me like, man, you crazy, bro. How do you know all these things, man? And so we got people who are committed to the challenge. Shout out to my guy, Bobby G. He's committed to the challenge. We're going to get some other guys. Hey, man, you know what? I myself, when I go in, I may go in on tomorrow when I get back in town, or Wednesday. Actually, you know what? I'll commit next week. But I may go ahead and commit to a challenge. And I like to do giveaways and stuff. Maybe we'll do a men's weight loss challenge. We'll do an overall body, overall weight, percentage of body fat. We'll come up with some cool things for my members who want to kind of commit to making sure that they're living here for a long time. Because I need y'all to pay that $3.99 for the rest of your life, or even the $99 price the rest of your life. Shout out to my all-in members. We're gonna get into that. Eric, I went 3 for 4 this weekend. 3 for 4. And I told people God is not good enough to let Miami lose to the University of Miami. If God would have done that, I told y'all I would have been in somebody's church. But Mandarin, we had a very exciting game. We won. Miles, I think that's the first link I sent you. I want to show you guys why this kid is special. I'm going to save all my comments. Actually, I'm not going to have any comments for this young man at the banquet because I think I will cry. But you want the link for what? You got to specify what the link for is. But blow that up, Miles. This play right here is dope. Just don't play the music with it, because I don't want them to jam me up. But you can go to my Twitter and see the music. But yeah, this is Tion. Watch the white boy in the middle. But if you go back, Miles, he's number 14. If you're looking at this, let me see how it looks on my YouTube screen, because it looks a little small here. But yeah, he puts that white boy in the matrix. Yeah, it's still small. But anyway, just play. It's a pretty good run. Not a touchdown though. But we beat Bowles 42-35. Very exciting game. We only AlphaMaleJacks.com is the website. Alpha Male Jacks, APHAMALEJAX.com. Alpha Male Jacks. Yeah, the Mandarin versus Bowles game was dope. So we won that one. Very victorious. Very good. They had basically a full week of practice. We had a walkthrough on Thursday. So that's how we get down there. Moving forward, again, we had the tailgate. cigars provided by ABC and not dehumidor.com and Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, which is a cigar lounge that I'm a part owner in. We had for the most part a splendiferous time. Some people had a little bit too much of a good time, and we had a couple fights, but nothing out of hand. We won't let nobody. We will allow proper duels to take place, but we're not gonna let nobody get their ass whooped. So, Miles, we got that first link right there with show. I ain't mad at people getting a little violent. We family reunions, family fights. So this is the family reunion vibes tailgate. So check it out, Miles. Now, I had no idea this was going down. You see, we got diffused pretty quick. Not a lot of violence. One of the things that I wish everybody would stop doing, come to a realization, is that most of y'all can't fight, and you shouldn't fight. So, let's just stop that. Stop the violence. Pick cups up. Put guns down. We got we got pictures of various people who are coming in. My guy, DM Frank, he came through, took pictures. We had one of my favorite people who I was hanging out with, OG Rob DeLoach. We had Lonnie Pryor, who did not attempt to backflip off of the back of a pickup truck. We had this girl's beautiful. This girl needs to be. I know people say things are misogynist, and I don't mean this in a misogynist way. I am a Michaela Edenfield fan, Area 51, but we need to get her. This is Eric. This is Michaela right here. I told my guy he's too close to Michaela. He needs to back the fuck away from Michaela. But Michaela is a catch. She's literally a catch. She's a catcher for Florida State, and she's a beast. So she was there along with some other people there. Good vibes. Tons of former football players came through. We'll see some of the pictures, Miles. You can go down. That's another group of guys. One of the beautiful things about Twitter, which I've always told people, is that I've got a chance. Some of y'all are weird as shit, but a lot of you guys aren't. Are really, really dope. And I've gotten a chance to meet and communicate with a lot of people. And it's all love. I appreciate those. You can go down to the next one, Miles. You can just kind of keep clicking on the things as I just kind of talk about the tailgate and what went into making this go. Again, that's Michaela. You see how she can make a man feel extremely small. Winner's Circle will be today's title of the show. So we started having issues about a month ago, and then the hurricane only exasperated stuff. So and I try to be as transparent and communicate with people, but I get it. So we had this warehouse, and the initial concept of my tailgates is to not have everybody in one location because me having had COVID, I don't like people being right up on top of me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm a little nervous right now because of how I'm feeling, but I think it's just fatigue. But we had all these lots. So the goal was to have Peachy Boys in one lot, True King's Crab Trap in another lot, and then we had a vegan. We had all these other people that were there that were supposed to be coming, but the traffic was so crazy. Shout out to Pool Season for the super chat donation. I do have a thing. If we get $100 in super chat donations over the course of a show, I would do. Basically, we're gonna treat it like we'll do a giveaway or something. And then this week, I'm giving away on Wednesday's show. I'm giving away 2 tickets to the Southern Miss game, regardless. We don't have to have enough followers. I don't have to have enough subscribers. We will give away 2 tickets to the Southern Miss game on Wednesday. So make sure you check that out. But I say all that to say is that we started getting emails and they started talking about permitting, and what they did was they made it damn near impossible for you to have a tailgate to a magnitude of what we were trying to do. So, and what they were trying to do is enforce the liquor sales. So we were going to have bartenders, but it couldn't look like we had real bartenders, because if we had bartenders, somebody could have raided us, and then it would have been crazy. So in essence, to try to make sure nothing over the top happened, we did that. Then the hurricane happened. So I want to say special shout out to Herc. If you need to get air conditions, you need to go to Herc. And like they went above and beyond. But anybody who knows what what the tailgate is for, it's the MFTK Foundation. It's to raise money to be able to help families and kids, especially who are on hard times and downtime. So every tailgate, that's not just lining pockets, man. That's how the book bag drives go. That's how a lot of these other things go. So I want people to keep in mind. So if we like, this was our first game too. So if it wasn't up to par and up to standard, I 100% agree. If you have a legitimate complaint, just hit me up. I appreciate that. But all of this is to raise money for kids to go back to school and things of that nature. So and for food drives and other things. But I want to say I'm saying that to say is that the hurricane hit, and I was asked because they had to go send all the generators and air in the 25-ton, 30-ton air conditioning units to places that were heavily affected. And if you don't know, Madison County, Taylor County, Jefferson County, which are counties just east of Tallahassee, were hit really, really hard. For like they have never, like a lot of those places have never been hit like that. And we don't consider those to be like oceanfront places. I mean, like we talk about Panama City, we talk about Destin, but a lot of people don't know about Carabel. A lot of people don't know about a lot of I forgot, like I forgot the name of the place, but it's like a lot of people don't know about these places. And these are like really, really close to the Bay communities that got hit. So I said, let's go ahead. It gave me an alternative plan. They gave me these massive coolers. And I don't know about anybody else, but I wasn't hot in the warehouse, but we didn't have the air conditioners. But I thought some people needed the air conditioners a little bit more than we needed them. So I made an executive decision, and that's kind of what we went to it. I also very highly encourage people to try to buy shit early in advance so that we can meet the needs of everybody. We ran out of food, and I never thought we could run out of liquor or beer. If you guys have shout out to Ology. Ology provided us with 2 kegs, even though one of the kegs was still halfway full, but whatever. But we had a lot of booze. Shout out to my guy Rod Bostic. Rod literally bought. Rod saw how it felt to be me for the ball game, but he went and bought a bunch of cases of beer. We bought a bunch of cases of beer. We were reloading ice, and we did run out of liquor at a certain point. But man, we spent $5,000 in liquor. That's as a guy who owns a bar, I want you to know that's a lot of liquor, man. That's a lot of fucking liquor. But anything that got left out, just know we now know what it's like to have 1,000 people at a fucking tailgate. We didn't really know that people were going to come until the day of. So like that's why we were like we're going to jack up the rates, but we try to keep it low and reasonable so that we can do all these different things. But all that saying, like also there, like we had coding come in, try to shut us down a couple times, but shout out to Chris Frazier for knowing some people in the coding office and talking to them with sporadics. My brother with that. Shout out to Pick TLH. They made a lot. They made a lot of money, but they came and fucked with them a lot. And I'm gonna say the real MVP of the tailgate. The real MVP of the tailgate is this, man. CJ Wilson. If you haven't subscribed to my brother's page, Dope Talk, man, go check him out, man. He was on point, man. Without him, I would have probably been. I would have because I literally was going from 8 a.m. I got up there at 8 a.m. to kind of put out some fires, and then I didn't get home. I didn't get to my hotel room until about 2:30. So, but yeah, so that was just some of the brief things that we went through with that. We will have another tailgate this Saturday coming up. It says 12 is really whenever the gates open. I believe the gates don't open until like 5 hours before kickoff. So the food will be ready about an hour. So that's the other thing too. Now I will say this: the food has never been ready before 2 to 3 o'clock. So one group of people came, said they came in like 1. They was mad, no air conditioning, no food. I'm like, hey, whatever, dog. and all that other stuff. But I appreciate I forgot all the countless people who stayed after to help clean up too. Y'all didn't have to do that, man, but I appreciate y'all for that. So on that note, I think that's the housekeeping. Y'all, anybody who's used to the show know we got housekeeping. Please push the jam the like button. All that stuff. Let me see. Did I click on? Oh, Miles, you got to click on that last one. I want people to, if people ain't never seen Renegade Report, my guy George definitely looks like a redneck, and he's an awesome guy. We got George on some shine, and George was giving a little, gave us a little jig. So I want y'all to see George. Y'all rate my guy George's dance moves on a scale of 1 to 10. And that band is That's Pressure. They were the ones who did that. Again, we had about 100, over 100 people at the block party. I just wanted to see if we could do it, but I have never been a hater in my entire life, right? So I have to start off this show talking about winners. Shout out to Miami for beating Miami, whatever. Fuck y'all. Y'all were supposed to do that. I might have been wrong. I still don't fuck with them, but I might have been wrong about Deion Sanders and what they're doing in Colorado. Colorado played TCU. They were a 27-point underdog. Oh, speaking of that, my bad. For those who don't know, members only, we have a college football pick'em. College football pick'em thing. We've got 5 people in this week's group. We only had 4 in last week's group. That guy who was smoking and drinking and did the split, George, finished last place. He was 3-7. I can't pick on him too bad because I finished third. It's only out of 4. No Champs picks finished 2. And G Gray, I don't know who EAB BGD is, but you are the winner of this week's pick'em. $50 is for you. Make sure you hit me in my inbox with a screenshot of your picks. I know exactly how many you got, how many you didn't get right. And it's a specific way that the college football pick'em looks like on the Home Depot. But we all got picking Colorado to lose wrong. My bad. Colorado was plus 20.5. But he did have he picked TCU, but Colorado won. And that's how we're gonna start it off with. And shout out to Hector. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that, Hector. Yeah, just save that one right there, Miles. We gotta remember to get to Hector when we break down FSU here. But so we want to make sure we give my guy Gray his money. But Deion has earned the right to talk his shit because a lot of us in the media, a lot of us on social media have been extremely critical of him. More of the reasons of him going out there and broadcasting, and even going after like people whose jobs to do things. I personally made a comment. Deion more worried about Danny Kanell than he worried about like TCU ain't around the corner. But goddamn it, that motherfucker put TCU in a blender. They ain't playing no defense, but they did everything they needed to do. I'm gonna start off with Deion's comments, and I haven't heard him, but I know he's popping the shit. He deserves to be able to stay 8 toes down anytime he wants to, man. But go ahead.
All right. What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe? You don't believe. You just answered it. You don't believe. Next question.
All right. So now I don't know what he asked. I believe he should have asked, but I should have answered it. But he has every right to be able to pop off with people who didn't believe. And like I will still like right now after watching Nebraska play, watching Arizona State play, and now he beat TCU. I have no choice but to be able to say like, you know what, this motherfucker might go bowl. This motherfucker might go to a bowl game. Colorado State isn't really good. I think they played 2 other Ducks, but UCLA didn't play great. Like only a hater would say he wasn't impressed with what they saw with Deion Sanders in college. Now, I'm unapologetically a fuck Deion person, but I love the game of college. I love the game of football. And what Deion and those guys did was nothing short of impressive. And yes, TCU is down. TCU is not the same team that they were that went to the college football playoff national championship last year. But at the same time, they should be better with an in-place coaching staff than Colorado and staff who every time they played against a team that wasn't afraid of them, obviously I have to call it what it is. I can't call it the potato salad bowl because the black colleges got mad, but in the Celebration Bowl, he got beat. So they Deion and those guys did their thing. They didn't play much defense. We saw what Charles Kelly defense is still like, but at the same token, what I will say is this: Shedeur Sanders and Shedeur Sanders is like showed his ass. He doesn't have to if he can put up 4 more performances like that, he's clearly going to be the talk of the draft. And I see why that's Deion Sanders' favorite son. That's the good son. Now, what I will say is this: we missed on Travis Hunter. Like that hurt. I didn't know he had all that in him. That motherfucker good. Like I knew he was a good offensive player, but like I'm not sure how long he can play both sides of the ball like that. But he's dynamic and electric. So, that's exactly what it is. Colorado looked way more well coordinated than I expected. I think they're going to go to a bowl game this year, and I'm not actually. Let me just pull it up because again, that was 3 losses that I had them with was TCU, Nebraska being a better coach team, with Matt Rule being a better coach in my opinion. And Arizona State, just because I won't even hold you, it's mainly because I like Dilly, but I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a liar. Well, let's see. Let's look at Colorado's football schedule. This would be something I'm following closely. They play Nebraska at home, and so it should be packed next week. They can legitimately go into Oregon ranked and playing in a primetime game on September 23rd. That'd be a hell of a weekend too. But they got Oregon, USC, then they play Arizona State after that. I think they're beating Stanford. I think they're beating Arizona. The only games that I just probably wouldn't give them are because these teams are a little bit more physical. And that's all. But like I can't even hate. They were doing good, but like let's go through the things of why they should be excited about what they're doing in Colorado. Oh man, y'all giving my boy PK the business now. Actually, before we go into that, Miles, I think we got to click the link before that. Or do you have the "We Are Big Guys" one up? It's the video, yeah. So this is again. Now, the other side too is nobody told me that the Ho was the offensive coordinator for TCU. If I'd have known the Ho was the offensive coordinator for TCU, then I would have been like, fuck them. I just don't like Deion for some things that he does. I don't want Kendall Browse to be successful at anything in life. But like, look at this right here. This is a thing of beauty. You got a fullback in there, just punishes that guy. Gets oh my goodness, gotta go back. This is going to be Hims. We got him coming. Pause this right, Mouse. Boom. Look at the contact there. He hasn't popped up through his hands, but now he's going to readjust his hands and watch what he does with his feet. Now go ahead, push play. That's AFOC right there. He's accelerating feet on contact and basically gets 2 people that he gets to escort out the club. One, and then his homeboy wants to get some that's scraping across, and he's just like, nah, I'm straight. As my guy walks right into the end zone. That is beautiful. That's a Bishop. I mean, shit, I don't care where the fuck he was at. That's just a hell of a. I gotta give props where props are due. That was physical there. That's what having a good fullback will do to you. But because even this defender, who the guard was pulling around for, he technically was doing his job. And that linebacker technically tried to fill the hole. He just got stuffed. Yeah, that was sexy. So NFL Rookie Watch posted up how impressive Shedeur Sanders' first game was for the Buffaloes. He was 38 for 47, which is 80%, 510 passing yards, broke the school record, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 140 passer rating with the upset win. Now, this is where people get a little crazy. He's on pace for 6,000 yards passing in college football record. Now, if he does that, then goddamn it, whatever. But I don't think he will. But one could not watch this and not be impressed by what Colorado was able to do. So much so that comedian and music extraordinaire, and a lot of people said that they watched this, and let's live in a world where, let's talk about it. Deion was not overlooked for Florida State. Florida State had a coach that they could not just fire for Deion Sanders. Deion did not have his degree. And Florida State wants you to have a degree. Deion went to Talladega Nights to go get his degree. And then he went about the process in which he should go. So if Deion does well at Colorado, Deion should look at fully extending the process or stay where you're at. Because when Colorado makes the switch, I think they're going back to the Big 12. They could potentially be the big dog in the Big 12. And, but whatever. Sky's the limit. Deion's where he's at. He's being extremely successful where he's at. Jim that's why that Oregon State is one of the teams I have them losing to. I think, they have explosive wide receivers. They got these things, man. It's really, he's doing a good job. And I think what we can do is you can just give somebody props without having to shit on a guy who just won 10 games last season. And there's no reason. So what Little Duval put up is that Florida State dumb as fuck. Can't believe we ain't been locked down Deion Sanders. One, you can't been locked down nobody. He's literally been coaching for 3 years. And it's a lot of people made these tweets like that. Florida State fans mad because this because everybody did this because everybody expected Florida State to lose for some reason. Now, many of you guys know I was in the spaces with Sporadics. Was it a week ago? Well, last 2 Saturdays ago. I was at Daytona. I was bored. I said, let me go check this out. So I was listening to this guy, Blake, and a lot of people have said the same thing, is that LSU has gotten better in every aspect. And that's why they think LSU is going to win. And I always ask people, why? Has Florida State not gotten any better, returning 87% of their production and bringing in better people? Oh, I never said Florida State didn't get better. I just think and we all know LSU secondary was weak, and that's why they brought in like 8 motherfuckers at the transfer portal, and none of them are still playing. I just feel we need to do this. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Everybody was they were just feeling that Florida State was going to lose. Well, I'm going to tell you this much. I had to be diplomatic. But I had just been feeling for quite some time that Florida State was going to beat the fuck out of LSU. And, it's hard to say that because, games got to get played. But the reality of the situation is that it's what we saw, right? Florida State is good at every level. And it's hard to not, you can't just say that they're not any good or that you're going to, well, what about not Malik Neighbors? What about Perkins? What about this guy? Actually, Perkins wasn't even the best guy. The D tackle number 13 was the best person, in my opinion. But I just I'm sitting here and I'm looking at what these guys can do. And you have to stop 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. Yeah, Mingo, thank you. And then a quarterback that's athletic. There's no fucking like that's impossible to do with multiple sets. With everybody that's been with experienced playmakers. Like, not this isn't me saying we have Travis Hunter, and he should be good. This is me saying, I got a guy who had I have 2 wide receivers who had 900 yards receiving. I have a tight end who last offseason was considered the #1 tight end in college football coming back. I have a running back who was just shy of 1,000 yards. I have a quarterback who's a Heisman Trophy frontrunner. And it wasn't just those things. It was just physicality across both fronts. Like, the offensive line did their thing. The defensive line was very impressive, and we see what Brandon Fisk brings to the table, along with Farmer improving, and now you got some depth, and God forbid we had Jackson, but Jared Verse is an absolute motherfucker, as well as Patrick Payton. And I told people that Gilbert was I think I said his name right. The defensive end from South Carolina. When I saw him in practice, I was like, some scrimmage situations, like, I ain't passing the smell test. But when I saw him in like one-on-ones and some other drills, I'm like, yo, this guy's good. We got cats. We upgraded. And what's crazy is we saw a lot of guys from Florida State that left. Like McClain did numbers. A whole bunch of other guys, a couple other guys did numbers. But these guys are good. And yes, Jaheim Bell is good. And Mingo was the D tackle that I was talking about. But it all started, and this is why I don't talk my shit. Sometimes I keep it inside because I don't want to have to, like, sometimes you don't want to go back on your word, bro. Hold on, my bad. And not go back on your word. I'm not like Silk. I'm not gonna delete tweets. I don't have the time to delete tweets. Oh yeah, Trayshawn was who I was thinking about. Thank you, Damian. I was trying to remember him. I love Trayshawn. Awesome running back, by the way. But the reason why you don't pop shit is you don't give bulletin board material. And the biggest bulletin board material with all this is what Brian Kelly did. I think Miles might have my guy Lolo, who came by the tailgate, Logan Robinson with No Game Day, Sports Illustrated writer. Brian Kelly is feeling pretty confident ahead of his matchup with Florida State. We're going to beat the heck out of Florida State, was the comment that he made on the first of the month. Made some bold statements. Cool thing about when you you can't have an alligator mouth and a hummingbird ass. When your mouth writes checks that your ass can't cash. 285 and I'm out of your weight class. Oh, I was about to get into that TI right there, boy. But yeah, so it was stuff like this, and people kept saying, man, I feel disrespected. I did my guy Carter Power show, awesome show. I'm going to have him on, still going to follow LSU. I think LSU is a good team. Then they just got their ass whooped. Because they trying to, again, and this is what, okay, before I'm going a little off track with my subject matter here. It goes back to when Brian Kelly first took that job. Brian Kelly is from Boston, Massachusetts. Miles, you can chip in because that's where you're from. Do white people from Boston, Massachusetts talk in a Cajun accent or a Southern accent?
Absolutely not. Not even close.
So Brian Kelly is a white male from Boston that coached in Cincinnati, which again, Midwest, that left Cincinnati to coach at Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, to come to LSU. And the minute he gets to LSU press conference, he told me, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Talk like Gambit from, if you are a cartoon head like I am, from the X-Men cartoons. This is false bravado. This is my problem with, I'm not talking politics. Y'all can do what you want to do. My only problem with our governor in Florida, my main problem is he's trying to be 4'5" and he ain't 4'5". Like you gotta you gotta be you. So he's trying to be somebody that he's not, and he's not a bully. Now I'm gonna tell you what I like about Mike. I'm gonna tell you what this is why I fucks with Mike, right? Hold on. No, we don't need it. We don't need housekeeping. We don't need it. Don't need it. They come housekeeping here, boy, coming at the wildest times. Hold on. Miles, go to damn. Oh, Bubbly Brielle on the thing. Yeah, go find that. So if you can find that, I want you to see how Mike. Yeah. This is what people who really got the swag confidence do. Let's talk about. Let's play that. Roll that beat. Roll that sound.
For both players, how much did it resonate in the locker room? Brian Kelly's comments that was pretty definitive. We're going to beat Florida State. How much attention do you pay to stuff like that?
You can ask that again. I didn't even hear what you said.
How much did it resonate in the locker room? Brian Kelly's comments. He definitively said we're going to beat Florida State. He said it last week.
What he said that?
I don't recall. I didn't see anything at all.
Yeah. It's good to be able to play the game.
So my guy Mike,
For both
first
players,
and foremost,
how much did it resonate in the locker room?
push
Brian
pause on
Kelly's
that, Mom.
comments that was pretty definitive.
Mike went away from the gray sweatshirt and now got the entire Seminole Nation wanting this black cutoff that he has. So I gotta go give him a plug to go get me the black cutoff. But on the road to riches and diamond rings, real gangsters do real things. And you just see Mike just talking like a gangster. He's though petite. He knows what he's doing. Now, before I really get into my full breakdown of this game, I need people to listen to something. And I need y'all to stop this slander. In what universe does a guy, a defensive coordinator, hold a team to 30% third down conversions, stop a team on fourth down for three times, create 2 turnovers, and allows your offense and literally at one point had 27 straight possessions in their territory, it only gave up 2 scores. In what world does a defense, and I want y'all to listen, I want y'all to really think about this bizarro world that some of y'all live in. Does a defense blank a team for an entire half until it's mop-up duty? And you still talk about their goddamn you talk about firing this motherfucker. We have to stop being emotional on the timeline. We have to allow people to do their thing. LSU was the number 5 ranked team in the nation with some good cats over there. And Fuller was given some really, really rough shit. But then but as I always tell people, and this is always my argument, anybody who's listening to this who's heard me, I have been fucking consistent on this. What do I always say Fuller's strength is? What is the best thing that Adam Fuller does? If you really sit back and you look at, I have this as far as me and my house, we are, and will always be Adam Fuller apologists. My son loves Adam Fuller. That's been his favorite coach out the gate. Before he fell in love with Mike Norvell, he was all in on Adam Fuller. Anybody knows Trey. Trey just don't like people. He sure did. He sure did. Chip, Miles, clip going what Chip just put up there. Because Chip, you're the magic winner. Chip makes second half adjustments. I have literally always said that. I have broke this down. Y'all continue to listen to people who have never played this game outside of all Madden level on Madden. The game is about adjustments. It's also about playing complementary football. You put and when the special teams even put us in position to be able to take the lead early and blow this bitch out. But Jay Trav made a bad decision and threw the ball to the other team. He literally threw the ball to the other team. That's when we'll go into my funny critiques of the game. We stopped them on our one. My man DJ Lundy got a sack to give us the ball on our 13. Then they drove down and they scored. The defense literally put the offense in much better positions, man. You gotta understand, like they were losing the field position battle, and it's very difficult. But Miles, I'm glad you brought that up, Miles. So again, the offense, and this is what I've been saying since Mike took the job at Florida State. And I'm gonna go into my critiques of Mike. When Mike first got there, Mike put the defense in some very precarious positions. Mike likes to go for it on fourth down. Mike likes to he'll give the defense the ball on the other side of the 50. And we talk about shit like we're good with scripts. And I'm gonna tell you why that's dumb here in a second. What Mike had to do, Jaden Daniels was doing his best Jordan Travis impersonation at first. And Jaden Daniels had a great game. 22 for 37, 347 yards, touchdown, interception. He also had 15 carries for 64 yards, led LSU in rushing. He was doing his thing with his legs. And Jay Trav would not do his things. And then this is when Mike Norvell had to pull Jay Trav to the side and just talk to him a little bit.
I got no time for tears. I want you to go out there and talk. You be a man. You understand me? Be a man. You know who you are? You're Michael Jackson. Now go on. Get it.
And that's exactly how he went out there, bitch. When I was gone. Jay Trav went out. This is Jay Trav on LSU's defense right there. All right, man. Listen. Jay Trav went out that bitch and said, motherfucker, I am Jordan motherfucker Travis. And what he did was he realized there's a secret trick. Did you guys know the last time Florida State? Anybody know the last time Florida State beat the top 5 team? Anybody got that? They asked that question, but does anybody know the last time that Florida State beat a top 5 team? I will tell you. 2005. Labor Day weekend. Do you know who scored that touchdown in 2005, Labor Day weekend? The goddamn fullback went hard, punched the motherfuckers in the mouth, and that's what Mike's adjustment was. Mike went basically what I told people. You have 3 working tight ends. You got Biscuit, you got Murlock, you got Jaheim Bell. Jaheim Bell is basically when people say the fullback has gone out of the game, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The fullback is very much so in the game. It's called a jump or a move tight end. It's basically that guy that's 6'3", 245 pounds that can run routes, but can also block a little bit. And that's what Jaheim Bell did. Jaheim Bell basically became the X factor, which won us that game. Now, everybody wants to bring up, and this is rightfully so, 9 catches, 122 yards, 3 touchdowns. Or Johnny Wilson, 7 catches, 104 yards. No touchdowns. But Jaheim Bell was the one that did it for me. Jaheim Bell, with his ability to go in and block, opened up the running game. Like, not by a ton. It was just enough to be able to help us get TOP, time of possession. And it confused the defense because now you can't call it, you have to call it 22 personnel. And now you have to change what you're in, but Jaheim Bell is actually a really good route runner. He can also run the ball. So we have Jaheim Bell with 1 carry, 4 yards, that touchdown. We got the sideline copy of that bitch. If you go over to my Twitter, you'll see it. It'll be on the YouTube channel shorts here shortly because, again, big game is everywhere you want to be, like Visa, all-in package. I couldn't have got you on the sideline for this one. I ain't even going to lie to you. But we could do some other games. We're going to try to make sure we get our all-in members taken care of. He also had a couple catches. Again, it doesn't stand out what he did in the stat sheet, but if you watch the game, he was very, very much so a big part of why the offense started opening up. Keon and Johnny had some ill-timed drops. I mean, Jaheim also had an ill-timed drop early in the game. Once they started being more secure with the ball, catching it, oh my God, it wasn't even a game. But going back to the team stats, and Miles, you can post up some of the different things. Oh yeah, that's good. That stat right now that we just posted up basically is Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson stuff. So Miles, you can just start clicking on some of those links for the game. I told somebody the most important statistic that Florida State is going to have control over is TOP against teams like this. If you want to know the blueprint to beat Clemson, very similar. Has to be this. Time of possession has to be dominated. And you saw us milking the clock, but being in no huddle, milking the clock. Got 35 for 23. 35 minutes and 23 seconds. Florida State had the ball to 24 minutes and 37 seconds for LSU. LSU went 3 for 10 on third down, under 30%. They didn't get any fourth down conversions. Florida State was over 50%, 9 for 14, which is right where you want to be at. 1 for 1 when they went for it on fourth down. Florida State also got cute one time, but it worked. My high school coach used to call it motherfucker ball. I got motherfuckers that you don't. So when I call this play, I need my motherfucker to play. And Deuce, man, showed he's a motherfucker. Like, we just got to get him. We got to incorporate him a little bit more. And, man, it was the really ill-timed turnover. But here's what I want people to also kind of chill out on. Now, penalties can win and lose you games. But, again, go look at all the championship teams and where they rank in terms of penalties. Aggressive teams get penalties. I had a mentor of mine, Kes McCorvey, all-time great at Florida State, said you can't be and Peter Work said something similar. You can't be a dominant wide receiver and never get OPI. That means you're not doing something. You're not doing something right. So that offensive pass interference, while it feel like it hurt, when it's early in the game, you can adjust for those things as long as you're playing well. Miles, blow that up for me real quick so I can read that that tweet. I don't necessarily know. Oh yeah, so SEC exposed, and this is one thing that I always tell people. The SEC isn't the most dominant conference. The SEC has the most dominant teams. And what I mean by that is they have one of the best teams every year. I believe Alabama and Georgia will consistently be two of the top teams. But I also believe almost every conference has two teams that can pretty much compete with anybody. Right now, you can't tell me that USC can't compete with anybody. They may not be able to stop it. Their defense might not be able to stop anybody, but they can compete with anybody. You can't tell me from what you saw. Obviously, SEC went 1 for 3 when they played Power 5 teams. But I believe, I know more, but without seeing Clemson play, going off of historically, Clemson and Florida State right now can play and compete with anybody. Can play and compete with anybody. Michigan, Ohio State can play or compete with anybody. Maybe nobody. I don't really know anybody in the Big 12. Maybe Texas this year. They seem to be pretty good. But you see these things, and you know that. So right now, what people are, and I don't want anybody. If you're a Florida State fan and people are trying to make you feel bad for being happy about the win, anytime you beat a top 5 team, you should be happy about it, at least for 24 hours. Fuck these people. But you beat the team that represented the SEC West. The whole thing was who we beat. We beat Alabama. Who did you beat? Matter of fact, a guy at the Blake said, we were your best win that year. I had to explain to him. We won that. So, again, what you see right there in the background right there, that's our tradition. Anytime we go on the road and we are the underdog, we have to go take a piece of the grass. And we took a little bit of that Orlando purple turf that we're going to bury and put into our side cemetery. and we will be good. So I mean, just great overall game. Go ahead, blow that up. That's Snow Cone. I know he probably said something real smart so that I can just follow with you. Oh yeah, he talked. So this is a great one, Mike. We're gonna stay on this for a while. Brian Kelly, the counterplay was problematic for us. We knew they were going to run it. FSU added a two-back look to the counter concepts. LSU did not have an answer for it. This is a total failure on a coaching standpoint and a player standpoint that we obviously have to address. Now, let's talk about counter. So a counter is basically you set up one. It's just like in boxing. So you're doing one thing and you try to get somebody to commit, and you counteract what they're doing. And so in order for counter to be effective, you have to do something else. You got to do something else. So why was counters like when people say, "Oh, well, because it's J Trav pulling"? Well, then it's really the zone read is what you're saying is the counter. And if I can run this, because if I'm running nothing but counters at you, from a fundamental standpoint, you aren't coaching. Like when Kevin Steele said they ran a counter like 50-something, everybody always messes with the numbers. It makes absolutely no sense because that means you are falling for something that hasn't even been set up yet. Shout out to Jim putting up FSU brand is big, 7.69 million TV viewers, ESPN highest week one game since FSU Alabama. This is why FSU wants to leave the ACC to go somewhere where they can actually realize their good stuff. Man, September 23rd is going to be probably one of the best. Like, just check out this September 23rd slate of games, people. FSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, UNC, Pitt, which will probably be bigger game at that point. Ole Miss versus Bama, USC versus Arizona State, Arkansas versus LSU, Colorado versus Oregon, Auburn versus A&M, Iowa versus Penn State. Man, it's going to be some very big, hard-hitting games. Again, a lot of talk was made about LSU's player. A lot of guys have just stopped in. One thing I would like for you guys to consider, subscribing to my channel if you like the content. We're trying to get to over 3,000 subs. Once we get to 3,000 subs, we will give away $300 live on a show just like this. Also, jam that like button. Really helps the algorithm. Travis Sloan, yes, I'm coming to the Clemson game for all intents and purposes. Right now, we are throwing a tailgate. I am coming as a Gator Bowl representative. I will have a green jacket. I will be working, looking to see if we can bring Clemson to the Gator Bowl, to Jacksonville, Florida, because Florida State going to whoop that ass, and we're going to be too good to be able to go. Also, if you want to know how a bowl game works, check out Drive to Selection. And that's what we literally, me and former Georgia athletic director Greg McGarity, break down how the Gator Bowl looks, what the Gator Bowl does, and how a bowl game is selected so you can be smart and go make some money off of other people. Harold Perkins, you just leave that up there, Miles. Harold Perkins played against FSU last year, had one solo tackle, no sacks, no interceptions, no tackle for loss, no quarterback pressures, no fumble recovery, no forced fumbles. And Harold Perkins, all of a sudden, again, because he's a year better, with 87% of Florida State's offense coming back, production coming back, and top additions coming, just didn't get any better. Florida State, literally, I told people this, and they didn't want to listen to me, but this was Harold Perkins' stat. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take Perk for the Jaguars, but I just want people to understand this team is good. 2 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles. Nothing wrong with a 5-tackle performance. It's just it kind of is what it is. Now, here's what I don't like. In this loss, this is where fans, again, this is where we do this sometimes too. We get a little emotional. All right. Jaden Daniels is trash, like I said. Take away the meaningless touchdown in garbage time. His stat line was 21 for 36 for 272 yards and an interception. Captain check down, Heisman hype over in week 1. And he said the same thing about Sam Hartman. It doesn't hold a victory over a top 25 team. Jaden Daniels' arm strength is that of a high school freshman. And I was just like, damn. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Jaden Daniels is the only reason you were even in that game. Nussmeier is a good quarterback, but the way your offensive line was getting abused and molested, I mean, if Jaden Daniels wasn't able to move, you probably wouldn't even be that close. To like, yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, it can't be emotional in this game, man. It's ebbs and flows. Make sure and see if there's any if you got any other questions or you want some more breakdown of this, feel free to let me know. I could do another breakdown of just this game. I'm just killing two birds with one stone with Big Games BS. If you go to Real Joe, Miles, the video, yeah, my man, they put the video of the chick on the airplane. They said that was LSU secondary talking about Keon Coleman on the sideline. If you could go find that, Miles. And everybody, yeah, click that right there.
Right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Yes, he is. I can't wait to see him at the family reunion. All jokes aside, at first when they told me there was a Coleman, that was a eligible player coming from Louisiana, and I had to do the math, so he couldn't be mine because that would have been 18 years ago. And yeah, I wasn't there then. So like I think he's like 20 or something like that, but maybe 21. But yeah, Keon Coleman. I mean, we should be used to Coleman scoring on Labor Day weekend. So hopefully, class of 2033 we'll have another Coleman that'll be making some plays on Labor Day weekend. Tons of fun on the social medias, man. If you want to know why, my girl Jessica Metcalf posted, this is why Florida State fans feel disrespected. They have the ACC huddle, like the thing there on the ACC network. It puts LSU defeated Florida State 45-24. Just little simple things like that. Yeah, Richard Peretti asked, did FSU win time of possession? You said that was the key to win. The run game in second half helped win, as you said. And yes, we did win. We had the ball about 10 minutes more than what LSU had. Jay Smith, go ahead and push that. I need those. Click on that comment from Jay Smith. I need those things, man. Trust me, man. It's a couple people didn't, and I'm not mad at them. It's just I hold myself to a high standard, and I want to get better. And I don't like people not having a good time. So he said, what's going on? Big Papa had a good time at your event. Still owe me a hat. Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good show in Florida State. Looked amazing. Hope your friends and family. Oh, yeah. So that was Jay. Man, let me tell you about Jay, man. Jay held the rope. Jay saw me walk. I had to walk by his truck like numerous times, even though I left my coffee, my iced coffee in your cooler, I believe, my brother. But yes, I do owe him. He gave me a green tea, an Arizona green tea that was super, like his cooler keep that ice, that stuff cold. He gave me a water that was so cold that I felt it circle my heart when I sipped it. And then there was something else that I got from him as well. But yes, I will man, there's no way for you to if you're on social media, any social media that you're at, Jay, please inbox me, man. I really do. I really meant that. I really want to make sure I shoot you something, man. I really appreciate you, man. That was very dope what you did for me. You might not. That was big to me. Nobody else offered me anything to drink. I offered a lot of people stuff to drink and eat, but I appreciate people looking out on things like that. My boy Bezel shout out to DJ Lundy, the other fullback. DJ was out that bitch giving out CTE, fresh CTE. And shout out to nephew, Kayla Deloach. I can't call him little bro because he's old enough to be my child. Old enough to be my child. And all of those different things, man. So but yeah, man. So all in all, Florida State is dope. Ooh, I got something. Let me talk about it. Look, the cousin got on here and pop a shit. Oh yeah, get him. Bam, right there. Keon Coleman said, all these people capping, man. I have nothing against that university or their coaches. They tried to get me there out of high school, and the transfer portal, I wasn't interested. I didn't want to go there nor stay in the state. Have a great day. Keon saying his thing about LSU. Trying to think what else is going on here. Oh man, Dion is well. And, Dion got to listen, man. Great weekend, great wins. Man, really man, it was. Oh yeah. Oh man, we don't have. Oh, my camera go off. Shit, my bad. Yeah, I wish we had that Tatum Bethune hit, but we don't. I couldn't find it. But yeah, Tatum Bethune rocked Jaden Daniels. Get my camera.
Fourth down from the 2-yard.
Sorry, trying to work this camera. All right, there we go. I'm good now, Miles. But moving on. Again, we could do some more. I'll be on Sporadics with Chris Frazier later tonight, so we'll have more stuff. Again, please go bash the like button. Also, please consider subscribing to the site. I just want people to know, like, again, talking about Florida, don't want Florida and Miami to feel left out because we talk about all of them. But the last 6 Gator football coaches' record when they reached 8 losses. Spurrier was 27-8. That's pretty good. Meyer was 31-8. Champ, who got fired unceremoniously, was 18-8. McElwain, you know what happened to him? Unceremoniously fired, was 18-8. Mullen, unceremoniously fired, was 29-8. Billy Napier was 6-8. And as they also showed, another notable Florida coach or coach in the state of Florida who was 6-8. And during the start of his tenure, then he went on to, after 4 games, was fired again. Was Willie Taggart. So, special teams miscues and a lot of those different things go for that. It's not really optimal, especially when you got a lot of recruits that just saw Florida State whip a top 5 team's ass that will probably go on and whip your ass. Keeping on with the Florida theme. This is why you can't be stupid. And Gervin Dexter has filed a lawsuit to void his agreement with Big League Advance Fund, claiming it violates Florida's Athlete Agent Act and NIL statutes. He signed with BLA in 2022 for terms. He got $436,000 and 436,485. However the fuck you say that, my mind's not working right. To Dexter for NIL services and 15% of his pre-tax NFL earnings. So basically, they fronted him money to be able to get paid on his futures. Again, Florida and their NIL isn't structured. I would have again. I don't see a judge kicking this out. I'll ask my guy Blake and some other people. The reality of the situation: don't prostitute yourself over money. If you chase the NFL, you won't have to worry about the NIL. My guy Rob Bostic says, what were your thoughts on the penalties call? I think a lot of them were ticky-tack. Maybe a couple of them were good. I think maybe they threw Jaden down a little bit, I believe, or on that could be called a roughing the passer penalty, but I think that might have been just too much. I also believe that an aggressive defense will have those kind of penalties. I don't think that was OPI on Keon either. But for most of the part, what I don't like is when it's not played both ways. I noticed many times where our guys were held and they just did not call that. So whatever. Zuki was at the game. FSU has the best fans. We're really good. I like LSU fans too. I want people to realize this is just not a rivalry, man. But FSU is definitely in the place in the house. Speaking of wrapping this up, we got NCAA as a joke. Mac Brown and those guys. We still have some people trying to get their players done. We're one day out from this. Was a few days ago from Mac Brown. They still whip South Carolina's ass without him. We're one day away from our highly anticipated season opener, and unfortunately, Tez Walker remains ineligible. Our institution has been pushing Tez's case to be reviewed by the committee so it could be heard prior to our first game, but the NCAA's unwillingness to provide clarification over the last few weeks has left us in this position. At this point, everyone knows the details of his journey, and the overwhelming opinion of those around the country is that he should be playing tomorrow, and this should have been resolved months ago. I can't express my disappointment in the NCAA. The NCAA has been reluctant to consider the real issues of mental health, COVID, and rule changes that have impacted his personal decision. They say they're about helping kids, but all they've done is add to the very mental health issues Tez has been dealing with that made him want to get closer to home to begin with. You can't say you're about helping kids, then show a total disregard for the kids you're supposed to be helping. It's clear they're about process and not people. Fortunately, the committee still has a chance to recommend a correction to this egregious error. We look forward to the outcome to them hearing his case and recommending that the only outcome that case deserves is that Tez Walker should be eligible to play. The NCAA has truly dropped the ball on two of those, on multiple cases. Guy Mark Deemer asked me, what happens if UNC said F you to the NCAA and just played the kid and the BCS and everyone ignored the NCAA? Just late night thinking could be the start of a revolt. And they don't own the championship. So like it's their suggestion, the playoffs, excuse me, it's the people's suggestion. The problem is the bowl games and everybody else. Actually, technically, there's nothing they could really do about it if they played them, if the committee decided that they wanted to still rank these guys. It's just it's not that it can't be done, it just hasn't been done. But it's interesting. More on Brian Kelly and those guys. I want y'all to go look at the comments that we thought we were Georgia. We were something. They might have put them boys in an existential crisis, man. Like they reevaluating their life. And if they even should be playing this game, like that shit was crazy. Some of the things that they said in that press conference. But last but not least, I'm gonna end with this. I love following up on past shorts. If you're new to this, Miles does a great job of making me look like a dick in the shorts, which is great. I actually said this shit, so I can't get mad at him. It's just a lot of it doesn't have context. So I talked about UF's Chunky Jonah Hill cosplaying as Kirby Smart defensive coordinator. And I also talked about Judd Anderson, who is Miami's QB1 for this recruiting cycle. A lot of people got mad because I said he has a 1.15 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. I was told that I'm picking on kids, that this kid has accomplished more. For whatever reason, the people in my comments don't have Google and clearly don't know who the fuck I am. But I just want, there's an announcement on Judd Anderson. If this kid makes this Miami class, it would be amazing. Troll material. I hope nothing but the best for him outside of when they play Florida State. Go check out that YouTube short. I think it's hilarious. But according to this article, this is Judd Anderson from Kane 88 ATL, who lives up in that area. According to this article, he transferred schools over the weekend to Warner Robins. His new head coach says the team is sticking with the existing starter they have, which means Judd isn't starting. So your QB1 was at a school where he stinks, and he keeps throwing the ball to the other team, and he's been benched. His ass hit the transfer portal in the middle of the season for high school and went to a school where he will now be the backup quarterback. That's just not optimal. But congratulations to the University of Miami for getting the quarterback that you want. He works out with Denny at 6 points. This is not an indictment on Denny. I just think the kid isn't any good. And God bless him. But anyways, and also bless you guys this weekend, man. I hope you guys had a great Labor Day. My Labor Day was great. The only thing that could make it better is to see Duke come out and beat Clemson. I don't think it will happen, but I would love to see what Duke has got to do. Consider subscribing to my channel. If you subscribed it, consider being a member. Membership started at $3.99, go all the way up to $99.99. That's the all-in package. When you have a all-in package that is current, you get access to the tailgates. You don't have to pay for it. But you'll have access to sideline passes when I get them for home games, and when we do our giveaways and drives. All members from any level are eligible for the college football pick'em. You can just go into our comments. Go into our YouTube community. You should be able to see the link to be able to go and join it. You will get $50 goes to the winner. If there is no winner and everybody's tied, it will be a rollover to the next week. We also have our fantasy football league should be starting. Hopefully you guys continue your membership at least into that. Oh, good point. Miles, go back up. We got to go. Hector did have a question and he paid for it. Again, also any show where we get to over 100 in the super chats, we'll do a special giveaway. Damn, where that shit at? We didn't have that many. There we go. Oh, the good, the bad, and the ugly from the game last night. We'll go with the ugly from Florida State's game. The ugly. Just even though I'm a Fuller apologist, I will go with the first half. Big plays dominated that. Lack of communication and not understanding what was going on, what the task was at hand, as well as penalties. Could have derailed and put us in a situation where we would have had to climb back but luckily we have enough cats to where you can be able to do that. So that was the ugly. The bad would have, again, most of this comes into the first half where the drops. You cannot have wide open guys dropping balls on third down. Those are complete drive killers. We had a delay of game and then we had a snap infraction. You can't have that. So those are the things on offense and defense, both very, very poor things. Not taking advantage of and not taking advantage of having great situational awareness. The good is the overall the way the teams fed each other. The offense, especially in the second half, helped set up the defense by scoring early and often. So what happens when you keep doing that, you literally have to take them out of their game plan. Florida State getting up 14 points literally took the running game away from LSU, and now Jaden Daniels was forced to pass, which is our strength, especially with us having a pretty good front seven right now. Everybody talked about our safeties, right? And one of the things, if you've been listening to me, I break down and I tell everybody what is the weakness of Georgia and Alabama, of any defense. The safeties. You have to get to the safeties first. And so what happens is when you get your D line, they're able to pin their ears back. You can't get to that safety anymore. You got to make quicker decisions. So yeah, so that was that. And what was left? So it was that. Yeah, just the way it's offense, set up the defense, special teams, set up the offense. It was a very, very good good game. Yeah, Cool Breeze, that JT interception was ugly, but players fuck up. What can you say? Everybody fucks up sometimes. But on that note, man, I appreciate everybody here. I think we had about 122 people active. So just think about this. Once we get over 3,000 subs, if all 122 eyes would have clicked that like button, one person would have got $300 and another person would have got $122. That's the way it works. Let's get to 3,000 subs. Wednesday show, we're giving away 2 tickets to anybody who you'll just have to say, I want them. Because if you can't go, I want to give you the tickets. But we're giving away 2 tickets to Southern Miss versus Florida State versus Southern Miss. So you don't want to miss that show, man. Other than that, check out Dope Talk. Check out Sporadics. I'll be on Sporadics tonight at 8:00. And yeah. Outside of that, man, I appreciate everybody with the love for the tailgate. Southern Miss tailgate will be up. I know how to handle 300 people, so we're gonna try to get to 300 people coming to that. We'll make sure everybody's fed, well fed, and taken care of for this one. And any mistakes that we made, we will correct those. I appreciate everybody who had a good time and the kind words, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.